When a patient has blocked arteries from atherosclerosis, Western doctors will generally want to perform coronary bypass surgery, or more commonly, use stents. A stent is a short tube, mostly made with a metal mesh, but sometimes with plastics or other fabrics. It is placed into the artery and acts sort of like a scaffolding to keep the artery open. More than 2 million people per year have a stenting procedure in the US alone, so it's a huge percentage of the population who have a stent inside them. Considering these numbers, you would think it would be a safe and effective procedure, but as it turns out, it's the exact opposite. The first danger comes from the short-term and long-term complications used by anaesthesia and contrast dyes, mainly in terms of the dyes damaging the kidneys. To save repeating myself, please watch my video on angiograms for a full breakdown on the damage caused by these dyes. After performing the X-ray, with the dye, they will perform an angioplasty procedure to open up the blood vessel that requires a stent. I could probably do a whole separate video on angioplasty dangers, but to be concise, they are known to cause blood clots, irregular heartbeats, heart damage, heart attacks, strokes, and death. The topic of this video, the stent itself. As you can imagine, placing a foreign object into the blood vessels, let alone the body, is fraught with danger. A common complication is the stent moving from the position it was placed in, leading to blood leakages. To monitor the position of the stent throughout your life, you will have to subject yourself to more imaging tests, each of which carries its own set of additional risks. Since the body does not want this foreign object inside it, it will attempt to reject it and expel it from the body. To counter this, they now use what is called a drug-eluting stent, which is a stent coated with special medications which decrease the body's immune response. So you have the side effects from the body trying to reject the stent, plus the side effects from the drug coating, plus the side effects from the additional medications they'll prescribe you to counter these two problems. Apart from the rejection itself, many people have allergic reactions or sensitivities to metals. In fact, the stent manufacturers recommend these people do not have stenting done. But do you ever see the doctors testing for metal sensitivities before stenting? They don't test for it, and they don't care, and if you're having unusual symptoms after a stent due to the metal, they wouldn't even be able to put two and two together. At best, you'll be given more drugs to mask the symptoms. Common problem after stenting is that the artery re-narrows. The drug-coated stents are supposed to help with this problem, and while the drugs are effective in delaying this, it does still occur. Stents can damage arteries and can cause internal bleeding. The bleeding is sometimes so bad that they need to perform a blood transfusion. They can also contribute to blockages, which ironically is what they're trying to prevent. Heart attacks, strokes, and seizures can occur too. A very common risk of stents is blood clots, which is why they'll put you on anticoagulant medications after the procedure, often for a very long time. So you have a lifelong increased risk of blood clots, plus side effects from the anticoagulant medications. In fact, between 1 to 2% of people will have a blood clot right at the exact same place the stent is placed, often leading to a heart attack. These blood clot-induced heart attacks are particularly dangerous, being fatal in up to 60% of cases. It turns out stents are completely useless and don't have any benefit at all. Research Institute performed a long-term analysis on stents and found that they had no impact on mortality. They also found that 19% of those having stenting done required another revascularization procedure in the same artery within the next 7 years. On top of having no impact on life expectancy, a study published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that the risk of heart attacks that the stents are trying to reduce is countered by a comparable magnitude of increased risk of death from internal bleeding. As mentioned previously, stents cause blood clots, so they try and thin the blood with medications, which leaves the patient susceptible to bleeding to death. But worse still, these bleeds can occur months or even years after the stenting is done. Considering all of these scientific evidence, one would have to have rocks in their head to get stents. They offer no benefit whatsoever, have numerous serious complications and risks, and can leave you with a lifelong damage and an increased risk of death from previously unrelated causes. For more information on the dangers of common medical procedures and safe solutions for atherosclerosis and heart problems, please visit my website at healthglade.com. Hi, this is Adam from Healthglade. If you enjoyed this video and want more health-related content that you won't hear anywhere else, please follow our social media channels. But our content is highly controversial and Big Brother often takes down our pages. So also join our mailing list at healthglade.com, and when it happens we'll email you links to the new ones. Our videos are not copyrighted, so you can help by downloading them and re-uploading to your channels. Thanks for watching, and if you know anyone who will benefit from this content, please drop a like and share it with them.